What's good, my good people? How you doing? What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Tarig Motorsports show. I said I was going to be recording a little bit more, maybe 2 episodes a week, maybe 3, depending on how I feel, depending on what my schedule is like throughout the day. So, this is really going to be the first one of the week, the one that I was supposed to upload on Tuesday, but it is Wednesday, or it's going to be released on Wednesday rather than Tuesday. My bad on that. That's all I can really tell you. Like I said, things have been in motion, behind the scenes, so sometimes life gets in the way a little bit, but when I have the time and when I get the chance, I will record, and that is going to be beginning really this week, all right? Starting off, main thing, this is the Tarig Motorsports show. We talk about all things motorsports. It doesn't really matter what it is. It doesn't matter the genre, it doesn't matter the discipline. The only thing I have to say is that time is a factor, so therefore, I only talk about a few things. I only talk about the things that really interest me, or maybe the hot topics of the week, or, try and get my insight on those types of things. So if that's the type of stuff that you want to listen to, the episodes tend to run like maybe 30 minutes to an hour. If that's the type of stuff that you're into, by all means, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, and stick around. Because today we're actually talking about 2 things, donuts, and we're talking about Rolexes. I say that meaning this. The Rolex, the Rolex 24-hour Daytona is coming up. If you don't know what that is like the flagship IMSA really race, basically. That is their first round of the 2021 season, and it is coming in full effect. The grid is set. All these teams have just finished joining up. What's their name? Racing Team Netherlands. They joined up. I didn't even know about this damn team. There's someone who has made a staple in WEC. They're coming back in WEC in 2021. For those of you that don't know what WEC is, it's the World Endurance Championship. The Racing Team Netherlands, or it'll be RTN. RTN is going to be coming back for WEC, but they plan on using IMSA's Rolex 24-hour as like the stepping stone, basically, to make sure that they're still competitive, because like I said, they have been away from the World Endurance Championship for a while. Next, of course, there's also other teams as well. TF Sport has joined up in the GTD category, and they're definitely going to be going for the championship. They have flagship drivers and really people who have had a substantial history in IMSA. People like Richard Westbrook with 11 IMSA wins, and he also is a Rolex 24 winner. So the fact that they not alone have him, as well as other I would say maybe it's gold, silver level drivers and people who have potential and have skill all together and have a history and have a reputation, and it might not be in IMSA, it might be in Le Mans, but they still have a reputation of a great track record and wins and all that stuff. So they're definitely going to be fighting for that podium, that trophy. I see nothing less, honestly. I see nothing less than podium for them, because of who they have in their driving lineup. With Racing Team Netherlands, I'm not sure how that goes. I don't know how to pronounce all these people's names. I'm not going to sit here and try to. I've sat here and tried to do that before, and I feel like I embarrassed the shit out of myself. My bad. I feel like I embarrassed the shit out of myself, but hey, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know how to say these people's names, so I'm not even gonna try, I'm not even gonna bother, but just understand that it's Racing Team Netherlands, and they are making a debut in IMSA. Now, they do plan on coming into IMSA in 2021, later on, and if they do, like later on in 2021 or at least 2022, they do plan on having a future in the international. Woo. How did I forget what the hell IMSA means? Hold on. There's no way I forgot what IMSA. International Motorsport Association. There you go. Boom. Or Motorsports Association. So they will be trying to join up with that later on, but they're just using this as basically their stepping stone and making sure that all their marks are correct, all their T's are crossed and all their I's are dotted, getting ready for the World Endurance Championship in the the LMP, the prototype categories. I got some notes. Like I said, I'm only really going to be talking about 2 things, so this episode might actually be pretty damn short. Now, the reason why I said donuts and Rolexes is because of the Rolex 24 with IMSA. Donuts, though, that's Formula One. Because at the end, everybody was, well, the people, the champions were doing donuts. But I'm still on the Rolexes right now. The Rolex 24, for those of you that don't know, like I said, it's like that first initial annual round that comes in with IMSA. It's literally 24 hours long of racing. You know, countless laps. Guys are just going at it. There's going to be 4 different drivers over the course of the entirety for every team, you know, and over the course of the day, they're going to be switching out and really pushing and racing to the metal. Now, I always think that 24-hour races are definitely the most, they might seem boring because of the fact that they're so damn long. They might seem boring, but 24-hour races are not. They're not boring. They're not, because they have what I'll call a mental factor that a lot of people don't consider. Like, regular people can't consider it, but drivers, racers, people who understand what's going on, they understand. I don't know if that does anything to y'all. I don't know if that does anything for y'all, but it does for me. You know, it makes me think about what you're kind of going through, and that, you know, kind of makes it even more exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like the first driver starting off at green, or starting off when the lights are off. You know, that right there is your full drop, pushing, trying to get as much as you can out of that beginning. You're basically that, what do they call it? Like in track and field. If you try and convert it to track and field, you got it's a what is it? The 400 meter relay, okay? Right, 400 meter relay, 4x4. There you go. 4 people, 400 meter relay. That first guy, whatever the hell you call him, he has to go out there and he has to be excellent. He has to put forth real speed and get an advantage on the other people. You know what I'm saying? Now the other 2, those guys are just trying to make sure that they keep pace, and they're making sure that they're staying with the fight, honestly. And then of course you have the last guy, your anchor, the one that you want to put, that you know is gonna bring you that excellent delivery, speed, consistency every single time he's out there. And I mean, in sports car racing, those guys, you know, they switch out time to time. Like, you know, like they could be first, second, third, fourth, and then it'll start over again, or it'll be then the second guy, then the third guy, then the first guy, like that kind of stuff. Like they could, I don't know how to say the phrase, but they can switch up throughout the day. Okay, but it's relatively still the same. It's still that first guy, that second guy, that third guy, and then that one that you know is gonna come down to the metal. And anytime you need to make up laps or need to make up anything like that, he's there to really put forth that effort and put forth, you know, full send and really go at it. And that is something that people don't necessarily consider, if that makes sense. I know I'm kind of confusing at times. I apologize. It's not me, it's you. You just don't understand it. But that's just me talking shit. But this is the kind of stuff that, you know, that you kind of have to think about with IMSA sometimes, because it is still endurance racing. You know, so obviously some of those races only last an hour, some of those races only last 40 minutes, whatever. But still endurance racing, and with the Rolex 24, it's, you know, one of those that triple staple, basically, because there's 24 hours of Le Mans, there's 1,000 miles at Sebring, then there's also the Rolex 24 at Daytona. That's like the triple crown in endurance racing, really. And I think if anyone is, you know, going to be going and really tackling that and really putting forth and really capturing that, it'll probably be, damn it, I forgot their names. I think it might be TF Sport. It might be TF Sport, who has had, you know, pretty good success, and I know they've had success in Le Mans. They definitely had success in Le Mans. They've done, I think they had a 2 and 3 finish in Le Mans this year, so I'm not 100% sure. But I think that's what they had. But either way, they're going to be coming together and really making an effort. Aston Martin is definitely a team to worry about, you know, and it's something that they're definitely going to move to the top of the championship boards and really going to put forth that effort. And most definitely Richard Westbrook, in my opinion, you know, 11 IMSA wins. He's also a former Rolex 24 winner. He's their anchor, basically. He's that platinum level guy that they're gonna need to really rely on. So when that happens, when that race actually happens, hey, by all means, I'll be watching all damn day. Well, maybe not all day. I gotta sleep. I got shit to do. But I'll be watching for the majority of the day and really catching and really catching some gold. You know, IMS 24-hour races have so many different points of focus and so many different points of entertainment and action throughout the race. And I say this simply because they have the beginning of the race. Obviously, everybody's watching, everybody's excited. That's the first, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then you get the general idea of how it's gonna run for the rest of the day. But when you leave, come back, or you can leave, go to work, whatever you do, come back, they're still gonna be racing. And there's still gonna be guys, because it's gonna be fresh people coming on. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, it's those 4 different drivers, and everyone wants to either prove that they're better than their teammates, prove that they're better, or they might have a specific rival with someone, or just there might be one team rivaling with another team. Stuff like that makes it interesting and makes it exciting, and I am here for it. Like I said, it is a part of the triple crown of endurance racing. I love it. I love it. That's coming, I think, January 30th or something like that. I didn't write down the date, so forgive me for that. But I definitely believe IMSA is going to have an awesome season. I thoroughly believe that, and I will definitely be catching up on that season. I'll be covering the entire season. I'll be watching as many races as I possibly can, maybe even attending some of them if they're around. Well, they're not good. Well, if they're around the area, honestly, because there's definitely a bunch of stuff that happens in my area that I think I can definitely make. So all that kind of stuff, I will be attending, I will be going after. And I think that IMSA is definitely something that, is going to definitely bring in way more viewership for the American people, for American racing in general. That's all I got to say on that. This episode, like I said, this is going to be fairly short. It ain't going to be nothing too crazy. Just to sit down and really, quick discussions, donuts, and Rolexes. That's all I'm talking about. Formula One. Jumping into Formula One, it's Sebastian Vettel. Peace out to him. He's no longer with Ferrari. He is no longer in the Ferrari red. He's no longer in that beautiful bright. I forgot what team he's going to. I'm pretty sure it's something. It's something. I should have wrote all this stuff down, but my bad. Okay, my bad. Geez, she should be going to Aston Martin afterward, right? Yeah. Okay, he should be going to Racing Point, which is in turn going to be Aston Martin next season. So at least I believe something. All right. I'm pretty sure that what I just said is correct, and then there's some other guys moving to McLaren and all that stuff. But either way, he's no longer in the Ferrari. The guy, 4-time champion. He's won several titles. He's won consecutive titles with Red Bull, won titles with Ferrari. He's renowned, and he's definitely, I don't want to say he's not feared. He's not feared, guys believe in themselves, obviously, but he's definitely someone that is respected. And he definitely received a standing ovation on his way out onto the track by Ferrari. Applause from everyone. He's been working with these people for years. So by all means, understand that there is respect all the way around, and and also respect from him to those guys and to all the people behind him. Me growing up, I saw him in Ferrari for the most of my life, obviously until maybe now or a couple months ago when I started looking back at all the stuff that he's done. Same thing with people that I'm just not finding out about. Jesus. Hamilton, I had to go back and check out. Like I said, I only got interested in Formula One in 2017, and I started listening to it and started watching it and really started paying attention in 2018, 2019, towards the ending of 2018, beginning of 2019. That's when I really started paying attention, really. When the season has started back up in 2019, that's when I truly started paying attention. And then from there, I've been kind of on top of what's going on in the current events, but I never really decided to look back. But I did spend some time with it, just a little bit, and seeing what the people that I consider, greats, and some people that I consider legends now, what they've done, and it only solidifies my thoughts on that. From then, basically, it only solidifies my thoughts even more. Daniel Kiat. I'm pretty sure I said his name either wrong just now. I mean, I definitely said his name wrong in the past times that I've talked about it because I thought it was spelled a completely different way. He and AlphaTauri have not made a decision as to whether or not he will be staying in for 2021, which honestly, I mean, I don't know what to say. I do know what to say. Daniel Kiat, he's had an impressive season thus far. The reason I say that is because he's had some of the most perfect races I've seen. Yes, he's probably, I think he crashed out in one of them. I'm not 100% sure, but he has had an impressive season when he's, fully on the track and racing and all that stuff. He's had some pretty perfect races, obviously, with some bad timing at times, but he's had some pretty impressive races. He's had some races where, good battles, great showcasing of skill, all that good stuff. He's done it. So the fact that they haven't really given him a decision now, the season's over. You guys can make your minds up. Whatever you've seen what he's done. The statistics are in place. That's kind of a shame. You should definitely have something for the guy. Whether it should either be a definite no or a definite yes, honestly. And you probably shouldn't be stringing him along. But I mean, he's basically up for hire now. And he's up for the picking, basically. So I mean, these other teams have already decided on who they're working with and what they're going to be doing. But hey, man, if you guys want to try a different route or maybe put someone else in the race seat, he's available. And I don't think he would mind that as well. I don't think he would mind maybe a trade or a movement or some such. Just a thought. Now I want to also talk about Pietro Fittipaldi, Mr. Reserve driver who raced in Sakir. Now, originally Sakir was just a learning experience for him in Formula One. That's pretty much all it was for him and Jack Aitken. It was just a learning experience on different things that happened throughout the race and different tendencies and just basically just sit back and watch. That's kind of what it was. Just sit back and watch. Do what you got to do to stay in, but just sit back and watch. But he is a reserve driver, and he is trying to be a reserve driver in Formula One, but he's also trying to be a full-time driver in IndyCar. Now, obviously, the goal for everyone who is a reserve driver is to actually fucking drive. No question about it. Nobody's going to be mad at you, Pietro, if you go ahead and, leave Formula One and go into IndyCar. I don't think anybody would be mad at that, because who knows when you're going to get the opportunity to drive unless someone is freaking hurt or someone is injured or something like that. That's when you might get that opportunity again, like it happened with Sakir. But I know he's trying to keep his foot in Formula One. He's not trying to leave that completely because he still wants to race Formula One. But you're really pushing it for the best of both worlds kind of thing, because Formula One is primarily Europe. IndyCar is not. What if your name gets called? Yes, okay, take a flight, whatever. Yeah, you'll get there in time. Don't get me wrong. But what if your name gets called and you're in the middle of a championship drive? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna up and leave that IndyCar battle and up and leave that IndyCar championship? Let's say you're doing, real good, because I've looked into his history with IndyCar. He's had plenty of podium finishes. He's had, plenty of top 10 placements, and he's really competitive in that field. So obviously, if he were to end up being full time in IndyCar, he's gonna be gunning for the championship. He's gonna be gunning for that top spot. I don't see him gunning for anything less. So, of course, he's gonna be. What is that? What choice would you make if you were in that spot? What choice would you make? I'm just talking to regular people right now, not Pietro. If you were in that spot, what choice would you make? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna dump that whole championship? Let's say you in the top rankings right now in the top of the championship standings and points, and you're gonna up and leave that to go to Formula One to drive one or two races and miss out on a weekend of IndyCar? Is that what you're gonna do? I doubt it. So, hey man, look, you got the opportunity at Sakir. Don't get me wrong, you would love to get the opportunity to drive full time, to drive in something competitive. But by all means, Formula One doesn't look like it's really pushing towards the younger side anyway. You know, guys are 30 to 35 years old. I mean, yes, they got some young boys in there, but y'all are the reserve drivers, like I said. Look, if you're still that same guy, if you're still, you know, what am I trying to say? If you're still that same guy that they hired for reserve driving, I'm pretty sure if they needed you for racing and all that stuff, they would move you, you know, so they won't lose you. You know, that kind of thing. But man, by all means, go ahead. Just head over to IndyCar, scratch Formula One off the list. If they want you back, they'll cough up what they need to cough up. But look, you could be a champion somewhere else. You can get that opportunity somewhere else. You can race full time somewhere else. You don't have to tie yourself down to Formula One. And yes, it would be the best of both worlds to still have your foot in the door. But hey, man, sometimes you just can't do it. Sometimes you just can't do it. Keeping it going with the actual race, Verstappen, he was in pole position. I'm not going to really talk about the qualifying because, like I said, I want this episode to run quickly. I'm not going to talk about qualifying whatsoever. Other than the fact that Verstappen won pole, Hamilton suffered a little bit, Bottas suffered a little bit. What was that boy's name? Sands? Jesus, I forgot who the hell was in fourth, but one of the McLaren boys was in fourth, which was really great to see. Glad to see that McLaren was up there being really competitive. That was good. But moving to the actual race, from the get-go, Verstappen was in first damn near for the entirety of the race. Well, basically for the entirety of the race. Stayed in first and really pushed and really, you know, created a big a gap between him and the Mercedes behind him, and, you know, was really leading and showing how much Red Bull Honda can push. You know, first 10 laps, great action. A lot of passes, overtakes, a whole lot of different people trying to do different things and really, you know, put it to the metal, trying to make the race interesting. Obviously, it's the last race of the season. Everybody wants to put down that pizzazz and really show why F1 is F1. But that didn't really happen after lap 10. Honestly, you know, Sergio Perez came out, which prompted, he had either engine trouble or transmission trouble. I'm not 100% certain. I think it was transmission trouble that ended up happening, and he had no drive and had to be pulled off, which in turn prompted a virtual safety car. Now, something that I've noticed, like I said, the mental aspect of racing is usually not considered. Daniel Ricciardo stays on for 40 laps on hard tires. 40 laps, that's strategy, that's thinking. Reason I say that, because virtual safety car comes out, everyone comes in and pits, everyone starts back up with fresh tires, but he stays on, tries to get an advantage on the rest of the pack. You know what I'm saying? Where was I going with this? I don't know. But like I said, first 10 laps, pretty good action. No fighting, no nothing. Oh, one thing I do want to point out though, Sergio Perez, he was in either 19th or 20th place, and 10 laps in out of 55, and he made it all the way up to P14. So let's say, because I'm pretty sure he should have started off at the end of the pack. I'm gonna just jack it off at he started off at the end of the pack. I'm almost certain that's what he started off at. So 6 positions in 10 laps, and he was still pushing and still improving and coming up on P13. So I think if he were to stay on, it would definitely been, you know, in like maybe top 7, because the man could drive, man. The man could drive, and it sucks that he suffered a mechanical failure and ended up having to not race like that. That was horrible. But like I said, everybody came in, pitted, got fresh tires. Ricciardo stayed on and kept staying and stayed on for 30 more laps on those hard tires. So strategy by Ricciardo and the team, and strategy from everyone else. As you can see, you know, everyone wants to start back off on those fresh tires. Where was I going? Boring. The race was boring as shit. After lap 10 and after, you know, the virtual safety car restart, the lap was boring. The race was boring. Yeah, there was a couple little bits of action here and there, but that race was predominantly just a snore fest. Something that I wasn't really worried about, something that I kind of was a little upset about, you know, like, it's the final race of the goddamn season. Y'all couldn't have made this a little bit more exciting, but hey, that's not really their biggest disappointment. I don't think that, you know, obviously that is disappointing because the last race of the season, everybody wants to see great skill and really showcase why Formula One is Formula One. But hey, they have other things to worry about. They got other things that they need to fix, and you know, drivers have other things on their minds and all that. Alex Albon's still worried about a future in Formula One. You know, who did I mention? Kiat also worried about his future in Formula One. Guys, you know, trading teams and people getting standing ovations and celebrating, they're not necessarily worried about putting hammer to the metal. Is that a thing? Oh, putting pedal to the metal and really going forth with it. They're not stressing that. They're not stressing that, and I have no reason to be mad at that. But damn, that was boring. Where was I? Oh, some next season battles were foreshadowed in this race. Honestly, you know, like teammates and stuff, future teammates and all that stuff. Guys were kind of, you know, rubbing up against each other and whatnot. That sounded so wrong. Guys were going up against, you know, that kind of sounds bad too. I'm talking about racing, so don't get it twisted. But whatever. Guys were really going at each other and were really putting down a pretty good effort and putting down a pretty good display. And, you know, honestly, I think that they have just that little bit of those guys going back and forth, and I mean, I'm pretty sure they were just smiling all the way or whatnot. But seeing the little battles that you might see next year or in the next 2 years or something like that, that was nice to see. But that only lasted for so long because the race ended up being turned into a bore fest. And lastly, donut time. I told you this episode was about Rolexes, well, donuts and Rolexes. I done talked about the Rolexes, it's time to talk about the donuts. Finishing off with style, Hamilton and Bottas were donutting. Is that a thing? They was spinning around viciously at the finish line, having a good old time, having a good old ball. It was a wonderful sight to see. I was smiling, happy. Kept watching the videos, kept watching the highlights, kept watching, you know, all the rewind and stuff on freaking Instagram and you know, sharing it on Twitter, all that stuff. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, by all means, head there at the Big Ticket 07. I'll give you all the latest and greatest news on motorsports news, not just Formula One. I give you the latest and greatest news on all things motorsports, bro. WRC, sim racing, even. I give you so much. Head over to Twitter and hit that follow button, man. Hit that follow button. Don't grow with me. Grow with me in the depth. I'm just trying to create, man. I'm just trying to do a little something and really help out. Like I said, I'm all about that diversity and inclusion. If you go back to my other episodes, go back to my first episode, or like my first 3. I don't know which episode it was, but when I really talked about why I created the show and all that stuff, there you go. I'm not gonna speak on that. You know, I asked for show notes and all that stuff. I give y'all the latest and greatest in the motorsports news and motorsports world. WRC is definitely something at the top of my list. I mean, this isn't in my notes or anything like that, but I'm getting ready for Rally UK, or Rally in the UK. You know, guys are already doing testing and getting ready. Like, they didn't just win, that they didn't just finish off the 2020 season in the championship. They already back at it, racing, testing, and getting everything worked out, crossing their T's and dotting their I's. Guys are really about it. So, cannot wait to see what the next season of WRC offers. But like I said, this is just about donuts and Rolexes. That's it for me. That's it for the show. If you're listening to the audio version, I do have a video version. I do have a YouTube version. Head on over to youtube.com, okay? Or there will be a link in the description. Copy and paste, however you do it. I will be putting the channel link in the description. So head there and most definitely hit that subscribe button. You can watch all my previous episodes, or you can, I mean, there's way more content that's gonna come for that sim racing stuff. There's gonna be, you know, race breakdowns and race coverages and all that good stuff on that channel. So by all means, head there, click that subscribe button, click the bell icon so you can join that Notify Me squad. And by all means, man, live it up. Have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful day. Follow me on Instagram at Tarig. And on Twitter at the Big Ticket 07. Like I said, head over to the YouTube version. You'll find all the links there. I'm not gonna dump a ton of links in the freaking audio version description. I'm just dumping the YouTube channel link. If you really want it, you're gonna go get it. But sad to see. Well, not sad, but hey, he's on to new things. It doesn't really matter. But Sebastian Vettel no longer in red. Hamilton comes away with obviously the victory. That was talked about weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Kiat is kind of a shame that he doesn't have anything going with AlphaTauri. By all means, he definitely should, or he should have some types of discussions with other teams or something. One more thing that I missed for the IMSA, I'm not sure if I talked about it in one of the previous episodes, but Kevin Magnussen is going to be racing with the Chip Ganassi racing team. That is proud to see. He's going to be racing with Cadillac. I expect great things. The man is talented. The man has shown some great skill in Formula One. Obviously, not necessarily the most respected or clean driver after some of the stunts that he's pulled in mid-race and all that stuff, but he is definitely someone who is pretty talented, and honestly, I think he would be gunning for a win in his category anyway. Rolex 24 is coming up in January. It should be around the ending of January, either the 24th, 27th, or the 30th. One of them dates. Actually don't know. But let's find out that specific date for y'all. If it would pop the hell up. If it would pop the hell up. It's just the one thing I gotta say. Hold on. I'm gonna find out the times for y'all. January 28th to the 31st. There you go. There's your answer. Also, by the end of next year, not by the end of next year, Jesus, by the beginning of next year, expect me to have some sponsorship stuff in, or not sponsorship stuff, but like brand ambassador stuff and stuff like that in the works. Trying to just grow. So if you enjoy it, share with your peoples and help me out. Also, we'll be, head over to my Instagram, definitely. Go ahead and hit that follow button there. You'll see some bits from my podcast, as well as, video uploads and all that stuff. And also some photos, my favorite cars in the world. All the cars that I used to talk about when this podcast first started. All that stuff is going to be on there. So by all means, head to my Instagram as well as the Big Ticket 07 on Twitter. Peace out. Have a wonderful day. That's it for the show. That's it for me. I don't know if I tried to do this last episode. I tried at some point. Not 100% sure, but hey man, by all means, go out there and enjoy your day. Go out there and have fun. If I had to give a bit of advice or something like that to leave y'all on a good note, all I gotta say is the harder you work, the luckier you get. People not gonna understand that, but the ones who do the hard work will. Peace. That's it.